Hello my loves, what's up? What's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a new pick a card reading. This one is all about where you're going to live in the future. It is morning time. I am drinking my coffee. It is amazing. I'm so excited to be filming this video right now for you guys. If you guys are new to pick a card readings, I'm going to give you guys a quick little rundown of how they work as well as a little disclaimer. This is just reading upon the current energies. So when you're attracted to a pile and you hear it, this is reading on your current energies. You have free will, my love. You can change anything at any time. This is not like fated or anything like that. This is just the current trajectories, which is why tarot can be fun because we can see kind of the direction that we're headed and what we're currently manifesting and stuff like that. So with that being said, how these work is essentially we have pile number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you can take a moment, pause the video if you'd like to find the pile that you are the most drawn towards. Then once you're done choosing your pile, you can go ahead and scroll down to the comment box or the description box to find the timestamp that's linked to your specific card. And then you can skip ahead and watch your personal reading all about where you are going to live in the future. So with that being said, let's go ahead and pop some crystals below these cards. All right, my loves, here we are. So take a moment with these crystals, find the one that you're the most drawn to. Over here we have some aventurine, then we have some rainbow moonstone, then we have some rose quartz, then we have some regular quartz, then we have some blue obsidian, and then we have some moon quartz. So take a moment, pause the video if you'd like to find the pile that you are the most drawn towards. Then once you're done choosing, you can go ahead and scroll down to the comment box or the description box to find the timestamp that's linked to your specific card. Then you can skip ahead and watch your personal reading all about where you're gonna live in the future. So with that being said, let's get started. All right, so group number 1, if you guys chose this pile, this is gonna be a reading all about where you're going to be living in the future. So let's hop right into it. Okay, so group number 1, where you're gonna be living in the future. When I look at this, especially these two cards right here, because this is the 5 of Swords and then the 5 of Wands, this is giving me the idea that you're gonna be surrounded by a lot of people. So this could mean that we're living with roommates, or it could mean that maybe we're living on our own, but we live in somewhere there's a lot of people. It's a really dense city, so we're living in probably a pretty big city. We're constantly surrounded by other energies, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm getting first from this pile. And also what I'm kind of getting a downtown vibe when I look at this Queen of Pentacles along with this. I don't know why she is giving me this sort of high-rise feeling, like we have a good view and we kind of have everything we want and we're surrounded by everything, because the Queen of Pentacles can also talk about the fact that we kind of have all of our needs met. And so I kind of feel like there's this energy that you can take a quick walk outside and you have your groceries, you have your coffee place, you have your gym, you have yoga, you have this, you have that, you have everything around you that you could do within walking distance without needing a car. So I'm kind of getting this sort of like maybe urban sort of vibe from this. And so I feel like you guys are going to live in an urban area. It could be with roommates for some of you guys. That's only some of you guys. It's not each and every one of you, but there is just this energy that we're surrounded by a lot of people. So maybe we live in an apartment and then there's just a lot of people surrounding us, you know what I mean? That can just mean that as well. Also, with this King of Wands, I feel like you're gonna be really inspired by this place. Yes, there's gonna be a hustle and bustle, but I feel like you're like, yes, give it to me. It feels good. I want it. This is where I wanna be. So I'm getting this vibe that you're gonna feel really in your element. And I also feel like, you know, he's just like looking off into the view and you can see all of like the city lights, what's going on. He can see that there's a lot of action. You're living somewhere where all of the action is. You're living somewhere that constantly has things going on. It's like you don't have a dull moment because you can be looking out your window and you can see that, you know, there's so much life happening outside because there's so many people, there's so many things, there's so many lights, you know? So I'm getting this big city vibe, like, you know, this Tokyo, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, New York kind of vibes going on from this pile, you know, somewhere that has a lot going on, like maybe even London, something like that, you know, one of those really big cities. It doesn't have to be one of the ones that I mentioned, but I'm getting a big city vibe from this. And I'm also getting, yeah, so urban-y kind of like I'm near everything, I can walk to things, that sort of jazz. So moving on into our astrology cards, we have Jupiter over here. Then we also have Libra. And then we also have Lilith. Ooh. So Lilith is also giving me a downtown kind of vibe, because Lilith is like the rebel, and I don't know why I kind of associate that with downtown. I used to live in downtown Los Angeles, and so that was always like a hustle bustle type of like lifestyle, right? But yeah, Lilith I kind of like feel is sort of like, if I had to pinpoint Lilith into a city or into like a place, I would say it's a city sort of vibe. And then with this airy Libra-ness, I feel like this is up in the air. This is kind of like high-rise energy with this Libra card. I definitely am getting like, we're up in the air. With Jupiter over here, I feel like there's a lot going on. Jupiter is like, this is all about expansion, right? So I feel like the place that you're gonna live in is very expansive. There's just, again, like a lot going on. There's a lot happening. There's always like, you could spontaneously be like, oh, I'm gonna go do this. And you can find a place that's having that event going on, you know what I mean? Like at 3 a.m, if you're like, I wanna go do yoga, and you can find a yoga place that's like randomly 24/7 yoga, like that sort of vibe. Like things are just always happening, things are always going on. And this eye is just making me feel like, there's this constant like, awake, let's get things done, let's get things moving sort of vibe. And like, whenever you're downtown, you kind of get those sort of vibes. Also with Jupiter, it could mean that this is also a city that you did not grow up in, that you're gonna have to move to, right? Because Jupiter is also all about, travel and things like that. So I'm also kind of getting a vibe that you weren't exactly born here, most likely. You moved here, and I'm kind of getting this sort of young vibe. I think you're going to do this while you're still young type of thing. Even if you're older right now, maybe it's just that you're going to be doing this quite shortly. It's not going to take like super long before you get to this stage. Totally getting that kind of vibe from this. And I think that you're going to think it's very beautiful too. With this Libra card, I think that you're going to think that your city is very beautiful. I think you're going to get very inspired by it. There's just this feeling like that's where you belong, and you're going to relate to the people that are there. It's just going to feel kind of like, this is where I fit in. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle this deck right here. We're going to get some more information on this pile. All right, we have winter solstice of reflection. So this could be a place that gets all of the seasons. We're gonna get into that card a little bit more in just a second. I'm gonna pull out maybe like 2 or 3 more cards from this pile. We have we have winter and summer solstice. That is so interesting. Okay, we're gonna get into that too in a second. Let's just get some more cards onto this pile. Let's see. All right, another one came out. We have effortless waterfall. Ooh. Okay, let's get one more card. There we go. All right, we also have Desert Vision Quest. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, so what I'm getting from this desert card, first off, I'm feeling that there's a lot to look at. When you look out your window, we're on a vision quest, you know what I mean? Like our vision, our sensory, our senses are being totally stimulated, especially our visualization. So when you look outside of your window, there's lights upon lights upon lights. There's this, there's that, there's this to look at. There's so much going on that you guys can look at, okay? This winter and summer solstice is making me feel like whatever place this is, I do think that there will be seasons for you guys. So I think that there's going to be like a winter and summer, at least a bit of that seasonal kind of thing. So I'm getting that there will be at least this sort of different sort of, change in the weather kind of happening over here. Again, I'm also feeling like you're going to be really, it's like there's a lot going on, but there's times that you might feel like totally alone. When you live in a big city like New York or something like that, and there's always so much going on, there's always so much life, but sometimes you can still kind of feel alone a little bit. I'm getting that you might get that when you first move there, because I'm getting this feeling that it's far away from where you grew up. And so from that vibe, I'm feeling like when you first go there, yes, there's a lot of life and it feels really good, but there could be a sense of aloneness. Then with this waterfall, I do feel like it's near areas where you could get away from the city pretty quickly. Like you don't have to, like for example, like Vancouver, which is in Canada. Vancouver is surrounded by so much lush greenery that you can leave downtown. You can like drive a half an hour out of downtown and all of a sudden you're hiking beautiful mountains with beautiful scenery. So I do feel like you guys might live somewhere where it's not like you need to go too far to get out of the city, type of vibe, okay? All right, so our next deck of cards, we're gonna shuffle this one right here. We're gonna get any last information for you guys on this pile. Let's see what comes up. All right, we got 2 cards coming up. Okay, so we have the polar bear and the snake. So again, I'm kind of getting this alone kind of vibe with this polar bear card. So this is nurture, allow any anxieties and worries to be gently released and offered up to be healed. So this is going to be a healing time for you. I feel like this is going to be a time where you're like, okay, I'm doing something that I really wanted to do. I'm going out it alone. I have nobody that I really know here. Like this is kind of like the lone sort of like vibe. You know what I mean? Like we might know one person, but at the same time, it's like we're doing it on our own, and it's this rewarding sort of feeling. It's really rewarding because it's like this is something that we're doing, and it proves to us that we got what it takes, right? We have what it takes to do this. And then we also have the snake card over here. Channel your creative passion and sensuality. Welcome the transformation. So you guys are going to be going through major transformation in this place. And this also lets me know that there's going to be like a lot of facets that you guys can explore. And it's also going to bring up some of your maybe like fears of being independent, fears of being totally on your own. But I think that you're going to be getting through that, you know? Because I don't think you're really going to know a lot of people when you move to this place. But you're going to know people eventually. I'm not saying that you're going to be alone the whole time. You're going to know people eventually. But when you first move there, it's kind of like this challenge of like, whew, I don't really know too many people around here. This is kind of like I'm taking a big step, right? So this is when you guys are finally becoming like fully in your own element. You're embracing who you really are and awakening that, you know, because you're not really surrounded by anybody. Whenever we are constantly surrounded by friends and stuff, we're constantly being influenced by that energy. But all of a sudden when we do something on our own and we go it on our own and we have that alone time for that inner reflection, we grow so much. So I'm gonna shuffle this Astro Dice. Let's get any last information for you guys here. Okay, we have the North Node. We're going towards our destiny in this place. We're making a new home for ourselves, you know. The North Node with the 4th house is like we're finding where we belong, not where we've always grown up. We're finding where we belong naturally. And then we do also have Libra over here. So we're finding our balance. We're finding, you know, where we're being called to. And Libra is all about relationships, right? So this is an opportunity for us to make new relationships. New relationships. We're moving to where we're supposed to be, and we're going to be surrounded by a lot of people because Libra is a very sociable sign, so it's going to bring us out of our shell to be more sociable, to really get out there, that kind of vibe. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys, pile number 1. Hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! All right, so group number 2, if you guys chose this pile, this is going to be your reading all about, let me adjust this brightness. Oh my goodness. There we go. This is going to be your reading all about where you're going to live in the future. So let's hop right into it. All right, pile number 2, you're quite the opposite of pile number 1. I am getting this very like out in the middle of nature type of vibes. Like we are building a sanctuary for ourselves. We got High Priestess, Strength, the Moon, and the Lovers. These are all major arcana cards. So we have a lot. This is an intense thing. This is something that I think you're going to be working towards for a while. And it's going to be, I think you're going to live here for a long time. This is a major arcana. I don't think, like, this is where you belong type of vibe, and this is where I think you're going to stay. So with this High Priestess card, this is giving me this, like, we're not surrounded by a lot of people. We got ourselves and our intuition. I feel like you'll be able to see the stars a lot from where you are, because we see this moon by the High Priestess as well as this moon in this one, right? So I think you're going to be able to watch a lot of the movement of, like, the galaxy and the cosmos from where you are. So I think you're going to be able to see a lot. I think that, you know, this High Priestess, I think you're going to love being kind of on your own here. I don't think you're going to be alone forever. I do see that you might actually eventually have a partner that you live with in this area, but I do think when you first move here, you're probably going to be most likely alone. And I think that you're going to have a lot of land. This Strength card is also letting me know I think you're going to stay here for a long time. Like, this is where you have belonged, like, your whole life. Also, we're getting really bright again. I'm going to adjust my camera right here. Okay, perfect. So yes, I think you're going to own a lot of land. These two are making me think like this sanctuary. I own a lot of land. I'm not near anybody else. I don't have a lot of neighbors. In fact, I don't think you're going to be able to see your neighbors from where you are. You're going to be quite far away from those neighbors, okay? Like, this moon, it's like we don't really see, we see our land. I'm getting this, we're seeing land, but we're not really seeing a lot of other things. I'm getting more of a prairie vibe. There might be a lake nearby, but I'm getting more of a prairie and mountain sort of vibe from this. I don't see a ton of water near this place, but I see mountains and flatlands and grass and plants and things like that. And then with this Lovers card, yeah, I do think that eventually you're going to be living with somebody, but I think it's alone at first. But I think that eventually you're going to be there with a person. But I also think that you're going to feel so at home at this land. Another aspect of the Lovers is that we kind of find where we belong, right? And so I feel like you're going to feel like, yeah, this is where I belong. And I think that I think you're staying here. I don't think you're really moving around too much. It doesn't mean that you're not going to maybe travel or own a vacation house. That's all up to you. But where you're going to actually like live and reside, once you find this place, I don't think you're going to be moving anymore, guys. That is going to be where you are and where you belong. So our next few cards, we have Virgo, we have Conjunction, we have Aries. Okay. Oh, you guys. So with this Virgo card, this gives me nature vibes immediately. This gives me that we're surrounded by plants. We're enjoying our plants. We're enjoying, I think you're going to be surrounded by animals too. I think that you might have some pets, because in this card, I just see like maybe like a dog, maybe 2 dogs, maybe a cat as well, because the lions are more associated with cats, but in the moon I see kind of dogs. But maybe you're going to have a mix of both. I don't know. But this almost lets me know like there's sort of like this almost like alchemical vibe. I don't know, when I look at this Virgo, it's almost like we're in nature and we're opening up our like mystical side. Like Virgo just reminds me of this mystical side. So we are getting into our mysticism, but I do think you're meeting someone. You're not going to be alone here forever, but I do think when you first move here, we're alone. Then we also have Conjunction, which reminds me of meeting somebody again. But it also reminds me of we're finding where we actually truly belong and we feel at home here. We feel totally at home. Unity, autonomy, individuation, inner self, self-motivation, concentration, personal interests. So this is going to be where you are personally interested in. Could also mean that the other people that are, that know you, they're probably like, why would you decide to move over there? But it's it's personal. It's a personal interest. It's not their interest. It's your own personal interest. But other people are like, why there? Like, what? But you're going to be loving it. And then we also have Aries. I think this is going to be a spontaneous decision of yours to move to this area. I'm going to adjust the camera brightness again, because where is this? My camera can't decide. Or I guess the sun can't decide whether it wants to be bright or whether it wants to be not bright today. So Aries, I think that we're going to find a lot of our passion over here. I think it's going to spark a lot of new feelings for us, a lot of new hobbies that we're going to be doing in this area. And it's going to be, I think it gets really warm where you are too. This Aries is reminding me of this warmth. I think you guys might have some seasons when I look at Virgo, but I don't think it gets too cold where you are. I think we have some hot that comes in when I look at Aries. But Aries is more of the spring, right? So I think that maybe it just stays sort of mellow. It doesn't get too cold, doesn't get insanely hot, even though Aries is a fire sign. But these are two cards that are kind of like in between seasons, right? Because Virgo's kind of like the end of August, beginning of September. And I usually associate that time with like, it's kind of cooling down. And then Aries in the spring is usually, it's kind of like, it's good. And so, yeah, I feel like it's an average temperature. It can get hot, but I don't feel like it gets insanely cold. But again, that can be different for some of you guys, but that's kind of what I'm seeing there. We're going to shuffle this deck right here. We're going to get some more information on this reading for you guys. So let's see what comes up here. We're going to try to get about 4 cards from this one. All right, our first card, we have Fog Veiled. Oh my goodness, that card like barely ever comes up out of this deck. I like never see that card. In fact, I forget that this deck even has this card. We've been getting a lot of new cards lately. Okay, and then our next one, we have Cave Sanctuary. Ooh, this is gonna be your guys' sanctuary. We have another card that is a floor jumper, jumped way onto the floor. We have karma, so we're working out karma in this land. That's probably why we're so called to it. So let's try to get one more card here. And then we have the lotus flower. Ooh, you guys. I'm getting garden vibes from that one, so you guys might even start a garden where you are. You're gonna be surrounded by a lot of nature. Maybe you're gonna be trying to like have a garden where you eat mostly off of the land that you're on. This cave of sanctuary, I don't think you're gonna be leaving your home too much. There's not even gonna be a ton of reasons why you should be leaving your home. Like, this is your whole sanctuary. You have everything that you need over here. It's like your inner temple, right? And it's gonna feel real nice being there. And yeah, I'm kind of getting this like sort of vibe. It's like surrounded by nature. There's a lot of beauty in nature around you, and you've kind of just built your own sort of sanctuary that you don't need to leave too often. The fog is kind of making me feel like, yeah, not a lot of people can see you. You can't see anything else. So I don't really see, yeah, you're not really surrounded by a lot of people. Like, look at this card. We're in the mountains. We're by nature. We're by the trees. And we don't see much around us. Like, you don't see people around you. You might see nature. You might see like animals and stuff like that. But we don't really see much of anything else in this card, right? So I'm kind of getting this vibe that it's out in the middle of nowhere kind of feeling. And then we also have our karma card. So, and also we have this union again. We have this union happening. So yeah, I really think that you guys are going to meet somebody and kind of just like be out in the middle of nowhere with them and start a life with them out in the middle of nowhere. It's going to be amazing, but I do think that you're moving there first on your own before meeting them, and I think you're going to randomly meet them. Since it's next to the moon card, I think it's going to kind of be this random like, oh, I really like this person. I randomly met them through an interesting way, and bam, spontaneously happens. So that's what I'm getting here. But I also think that you have some like past life energy in this area. That's why we have the karma card. It's gonna activate you. I think you're gonna feel it even in your DNA. Like, I'm just meant to be right here. Like, it just feels like it's meant to be. Okay, so we're gonna try to get 2 cards out of this deck. So let's see what we get from this one to get any more information on this reading for you guys. This one's wanting to come out. We have Spider, the Dreamweaver. Tune into the energetic grids around you where you can send your energy for healing. There's going to be a healing place for you. There might even be energy vortexes where you live, if you know anything about that. That's always really cool. Like, I know Sedona has that, for example. Okay, let's see. And then we also have the bear. So bears make me think of, we're kind of in the mountains, we're in the forest sort of areas, right? And so this one says, you are the light. It is safe to step fully into your light. I think you're going to feel very safe where you are. I think it's going to feel very comforting in nature. It's going to feel really nice. You might even be able to see some bears where you are. And you're going to be surrounded by a lot of like The spiders almost reminded me of being surrounded by bugs, but it's because we're all the way out in the middle of nowhere, right? We're in the middle of nature, and so of course there's going to be a lot of wildlife around you, including bugs. Okay, so we're going to roll the astro dice. Let's get any last information on this pile for you guys. All right, we have Pisces, we have Saturn, and we have the 10th house. We're gonna be able to do our work from here. Whatever we do for work, we're gonna be able to do it from here with this 10th house coming up. There's also this like spiritual dynamic coming up too. Maybe we do something spiritual for a living and it kind of just, it fits in with where we are. It fits in with where we live. Maybe we do something that's even more online, and so we're kind of able to be in our sanctuary out in the middle of nowhere type of thing. I also think that you guys are going to be into hiking. Wow, when I look at Saturn in the 10th house, I get this hiking vibe because, you know, the Capricorn energy between these two is the mountain goat and we're climbing, so you guys might even be into that. And then Pisces, we're able to go deep into our minds and our dreams, and we can become the dream weaver, right? This is our sanctuary where we can make our dream life come to life, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm seeing for you guys. Pile number 2. Hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! All right, group number 3, if you guys chose this pile, it's gonna be a reading all about where you're going to live in the future. So let's hop right into it. All right, pile number 3. Let me ask you a question. Who cannot make up their mind on where they want to live? You guys. Look at, we're dreaming of all these different things. We're making new choices. We get bored very easily with where we live. We want that new experience all the time. We want to try out all the different things. We're like, oh, there's this experience that I haven't tried out. Oh, but there's that experience that I haven't tried out. We're back and forth because then we're like, oh, well, my last place had like a jacuzzi in the community area and I want to move back to a place with that. So let's move again, like when my lease is up, and let's do this, let's do that. Like, who moves a lot? You guys move a lot. I see you guys will be continuing to move a lot. And so where you guys are going to live in the future, a lot of different places, my love, a lot of different places. I think that we're moving kind of like every year or couple years even, it looks like we're moving kind of to a new place, or at least like a new home. It might not even be a different city, but for most of you guys, I think you're going to be moving around to trying out different cities and stuff like that. But at least we're moving around to like different homes constantly. It's like we don't really like staying in the same place for too long because again, we get bored so easily with it because then we start thinking about like what else is out there. I kind of want to try something different, and yeah, we want to try all the different flavors of the ice cream. It's like going to an ice cream shop and being like, can I have a tester of that one? Can I have a tester of that one? And then they're like, okay, but like which one do you want? Which one do you actually want to purchase? And you're like, gosh, I don't know. Can I try out the other one again? Like, you guys cannot make up your mind. We have it happening over here. Then we have this card telling us that we get bored trying different flavors, can't decide, juggling between all of them. We're like constantly being like, okay, what do I want next? 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 Oh my gosh, you guys, I totally relate to this because like for the past like 5 years of my life, I've been moving every year as well. So I kind of relate to this, you guys. But yeah, I finally found a place that I love personally, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I've only been here a few months, so we'll see if I keep loving it in the future. But anyway, moving on into our astrology cards, we have Cazimi. Ooh. We have the lunar eclipse. And we have the 3rd house, which is ruled by Gemini. Okay. Cazimi, you guys want to be somewhere. I think this is kind of like this idea of chasing the sun, right? Because Cazimi is like a planet or an asteroid that's so close to the sun that it causes like this like big burst of energy. And so it's like conjuncting the sun really close. What does it even say on the card? It says in the heart. Yeah, we're in the heart of it. We want to be in the heart of it. You know what I mean, guys? We want all of it. We want to be able to like find the best place possible. We want to be in the brightest place. We want to be in this place. We want to try out all the different things. It's this chasing the sun vibe, chasing whatever the next best thing is, you know, because we're in an apartment and then all of a sudden it's a year old and then they're building a new one and then we're like, that one has like its own cafe on the location. Let's try that. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is the chasing the sun sort of vibes. We're constantly chasing the next best thing. Then we have lunar eclipse, releasing the past, breakthrough, pushing limitations, healing. So releasing the past, we're constantly wanting to release the old. We're constantly wanting to be like, you know, once we decorate a place, we get into it, we're feeling good about it, then all of a sudden our mind is like, okay, well, this is my past now. Let's create something new. What's new now? You guys also might be really into like buying new furniture all the time, or at least, you know, doing something that makes it, maybe even changing around the location of your furniture, maybe just, if you guys can't afford to like buy new ones, I think that you guys are at least changing around things a lot in your life because you want it to have that new fresh energy. And then the third house, we're constantly chasing things. We think very quickly. Geminis, it's a very quick moving sign. It's ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the fastest moving planet, and you guys are the fastest moving people on the planet. You guys are so quick. You don't have to be a Gemini in order to relate to this pile, but me as a Gemini, it's funny that I relate to this pile a lot and I'm a Gemini. But Mercury is the fastest moving planet, right? And so for you guys, you're the fastest moving people. You move around really quickly, right? We have new ideas. Gemini is like the thinker, right? I think we're constantly getting new ideas. We're bursting with new ideas, and then we want to experience them. We don't just want to think about it. We want to experience it, and so we manifest it as quickly as possible. And even let's read what this says. So this is the house of the mind and ideas, of course, right? Here is where we see the concrete thinking, thoughts, communication. So we're constantly wanting new things. We're wanting to meet new people, mental agility and the capability or capacity to relate to the most immediate and daily social environment, like siblings or neighbors. So yeah, I mean, we're constantly getting new neighbors. It even says neighbors in that, and that made me immediately think of like, we're constantly meeting new people because we're constantly moving, and then we have new neighbors, and then, you know, we have this new social dynamic around us all the time. So, yep, y'all are moving a lot. So we're gonna shuffle this deck right here. We're gonna try to get some more information for you guys on this pile. We're gonna try to get about 4 cards from this deck, so let's see what comes up for you guys. Pile number 3. All right, let's see. We got autumn equinox release. So you guys are constantly wanting to release the old stuff. That just confirms that we're constantly wanting to like get rid of the old vibe. We're wanting to release, we're wanting to release, we're wanting to release. Things become stale really quickly for you guys. We also have the summer solstice. I think that you guys are wanting to chase the sun. We have this Kazemi, which is meaning that a planet is really close to like conjuncting the sun. So I think that you guys are like sun chasers. You guys want the radiance. You guys want to be somewhere that's warm. So you guys are constantly moving around trying to find the next best place. So yeah, definitely getting that you guys are going to live somewhere warm. Of course, our next card is fire. Of course. So yeah, you guys want to live somewhere that's warm, and I think that you guys will be living somewhere that's warm in the future. I think it's going to be sunny there quite often. Getting some California vibes from here for some of you guys, or maybe some like tropical vibes. Maybe you guys are moving to like Australia, something like that. I don't know. Just somewhere warm. Getting these warm vibes. All right, and there's our last card. They love to fall on the floor lately. So we have dawn, new beginnings. You guys are always chasing that new beginning. Of course this card is coming up. You guys are constantly on the dawn. You know, we're chasing the sun. That's again, we're chasing the sun, and we're also chasing these new fresh beginnings constantly. So that fits in really well. Okay. So moving on to this pile, we're going to shuffle this one. Let's get any last information for you guys in this pile. We have the Raven, Wise Woman, a change is coming. We got the change card, of course. This is talking about the fact that we're constantly changing. Yeah, I don't see you guys settling down anytime soon in a certain particular place. And the next one we have Gaia's Gateway, the dragon. So access Earth's inner wisdom. So we're constantly looking for the new. We're spreading our wings. We want to live somewhere that has everything, because the dragons always remind me of like fantasies, right? Like a fantasy novel. We want something that has everything. Again, my camera brightness is just... it's not... it's changing so much. It's not being consistent with me. Okay, so... we're wanting to chase that fantasy. We're wanting to have a little bit of everything. We want to activate within us and find something that's like, you know, we can feel like we're living in a magical place and that we don't lose the magic. I feel like you guys feel like we lose the magic pretty quickly because you guys get, it feels mundane really fast for you guys. So I'm going to roll these Astro dice. Let's get any last information on this reading for you guys. We have the 9th house. We're moving around a lot. This is ruled by Sagittarius. We're moving around a lot. We want to experience some new things. We want to get out there. We also have this Libra energy. Libras love to experience new things. They're an air sign, so we're constantly, you know, going with the flow with the wind. You know, we're going where the wind takes us, where our passions take us, and we change our minds pretty quickly because air signs, they are so quick to change their minds. And then with this moon, we're following where our emotions are telling us to go. The moon being in Libra in the 9th house, this is like our emotions are craving new people and new things. We get emotionally fulfilled when we're experiencing new things that make us passionate. They make us feel radiant. We're chasing the sun type of vibes, you know? So our emotions love to be filled with that brightness. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys. Pile number 3. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. All right, so pile number 4, if you guys chose this pile, it's going to be your reading all about where you're going to live in the future. So let's hop right into it. All right, so group number 4, we have the Star, Knight of Pentacles, 6 of Cups, and the World. So what I'm really seeing for you guys in this pile, the 6 of Cups makes me feel like we don't really want to leave the place where we grew up. We have a lot of sentimentality to wherever we grew up. And so there is this vibe of this slow moving, like maybe we daydream about living somewhere else and we think about it sometimes, but then at the same time, we're kind of like, we got ties to where we grew up. We have friends there. We have family members there. Like, we are attached to where we grew up. And so part of us, yes, we daydream about it, but the Knight of Pentacles is the only knight that isn't moving. There's no movement. His horse is stagnant, but he thinks about it. There's plans, but will he actually ever move? That's questionable. The World makes me think that yes, you guys are interested in traveling. Yes, you guys will probably travel. You'll probably experience new things because you like to do that. But to actually move away from your home, I feel like is something that's a bit of a struggle. And I think that you guys are like, I could have the best of the both worlds by traveling. I could do that, you know? I could have a bit of this. I can dip my toe in the pond, but yet I'm still rooted in where I belong. You know what I mean? So this Star card is definitely making me feel like we have roots with where we belong. Let me adjust my camera brightness. I'm going to be doing that a lot today. The sun keeps coming in and out of clouds, and so my brightness keeps changing a lot. So yeah, I definitely feel like we want the best of the both worlds. We want where we've grown up and we want something new. So instead, I think we compromise on traveling instead of actually leaving where we grew up. So I'm going to add some more cards on here to get a little bit more information. So our astrology cards that we have the 7th house. We have waxing crescent. And then we have stellium. Very interesting. Okay, so with the 7th house, our relationships mean a lot to us when we have the 7th house coming up. Like, our relationships are probably what's keeping us where we are. You know, we don't really want to leave behind those prominent relationships that we've gathered over the years. The 7th house is something that it means a lot to us. When we have this stellium over here as well, this is like we've built up so much here. Stelliums are like when we have a bunch of planets conjuncting under one house or in one sign. And so this stellium energy is like, we have built up so much over the years that it's hard for us to leave. Like, we have everything here. We've had so many memories here. We've created so much, and we have a hard time letting go of that. And then this waxing crescent says inspiration, creativity, growth, accomplishments, and learning. So I feel like you guys have already done so much in this area to turn down my brightness again. So yeah, we've already done so much here and we've had so much growth and so many accomplishments. It's like, how do we leave that? How do we leave that behind? But at the same time, this is making me feel like, again, I feel like there's this travel vibe. There's travel, absolutely. We have the world. But we're rooted. We're rooted where we are. So I'm going to shuffle this deck right here. We're going to get some more information on these cards for you guys. Let's see what comes up. Immediately we had fire coming up. So fire, passion. So we can still follow our passions. We can still travel. We can still do that. But we're also passionate about where we are because there's the people that bring us the passion and our memories. Then we also have this spring equinox of rebirth coming up. You guys have gone through a lot in this area. It's probably hard for you guys to leave it. Then we also have, ancestors of generations. Yeah, it's hard for you guys to leave behind your family. The fact that we have ancestors coming up, you guys, like, wow, that one couldn't be more accurate on like, okay, I'm just adjusting my brightness again. Oh my gosh. But this one, it's like, there's so much sentimentality where we are. You know? Like maybe our family's been here for a long time, and so it's like, how could I leave that? There's so much history here for me. And even if you guys do end up living somewhere else, I think that you guys are returning back to where your roots are. Then we also have, we have two more cards coming out, so we'll go with it. We have wind and fog. Yeah, I feel like we're going with the wind. I think that you guys still will like to travel. I really think that you guys like to travel. And I do think that you're going to do quite a bit of that. But I think you're living where your roots are. And then fog, veiled. Yeah, I think the energy is almost just telling you to just stay where you are when I look at that card. It's telling you to just kind of stay where you are. But again, that doesn't mean no travel. I see a lot of travel cards happening. So I'm going to shuffle this last deck. We're going to get any last information from this one, and then we'll do some Astro Dice. All right, so immediately we have one coming up. We have Cat, speak your truth, have strength, faith, and conviction in your voice. It has never been more needed. Cat, you feel at home where you are. Think about a cat. They love where they are. They love to nap. They love, oh my gosh. Then we have the koi carp, abundance. Move with the flow of abundance around and through you. Ooh. I feel like you feel, like you've built up a lot already where you are. When I think about abundance, right, we have friendships. We have everything around that we've needed. We've built so much here already. It's like, nah, we're not leaving. I like this moody vibe. The camera got really dark and I kind of like the moody vibe, but we'll turn it up a bit. But yeah. Ooh. Also, it got so dark in my house. I think the sun went behind a cloud again. It's like super dark in here now. We've been having some weather. Usually it's like bright and sunny all the time because I'm in California and like, yeah. But wow, it got dark. We're getting some weather up in here. We're getting moody. Okay. So moving on to our Astro Dice for you guys. Let's see any last answers that come up through these. All right, we got Aquarius. Yeah, again, travel vibes. 2, we're rooted where we are, North Node. So we like the movement. We like to travel. We like to dream up new things, but at the same time, we have friendships where we are. We are rooted in our friendships. We're rooted in those types of things. But I think that, again, we get those travel vibes coming up when we have North Node with Aquarius. There's some travel vibes up in here. So yeah, you guys are definitely gonna have the travel bug. But we're rooted. We are rooted. Let's see if I can see any last information over here. You guys also might be living near water, or you guys crave traveling near water, and so that's maybe why we travel a lot, is to get our dose of like good water or ocean in our blood, in our veins. But other than that, we love where we live at the same time. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys. Pile number 4. Hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. All right, it almost feels like nighttime, and I think it's like 9 in the morning. No, it's 8:30 in the morning, and it feels like nighttime already because the sun is behind a deep dark cloud. We're going through like a rainstorm right now, which I'm so excited about because we usually don't have weather where I live, so I'm stoked about it. So, all right, pile number 5, you guys chose this pile. This is gonna be your reading all about where you're going to live in the future, so let's hop right into it. All right, so pile number 5. Here's what we have for you guys. We have the Page of Pentacles, the Sun, the musician, the Magician, and then the Ace of Pentacles. So what I'm seeing for you guys, the Magician gives me the 4 seasons vibe. So I'm seeing that you guys are gonna live somewhere that most likely has all 4 seasons, okay? And then the Sun is also making me think that, okay, this place does get a lot of sun. In the summer, it's really fun. We're rhyming now. But also from the Sun, I kind of get that this might be a place that people like to vacation to during the summer. But we still do experience all 4 seasons, but it might be somewhere where like during the summer, people like to come here. Somehow it's like an attraction. I feel like it's a touristy attraction kind of place, but at the same time, we still get all 4 seasons though. But in the summer, we get some like tourism, we get some attraction over here. I also feel like with this card, we might have gone here when we were a kid. It might be somewhere that we've experienced already as when we were a kid. It could be somewhere that we grew up, but I'm kind of feeling this is more vacation-y. I don't know why. I'm getting this is more like we've just visited here maybe as a kid before, kind of feeling that sort of vibe. The Page of Pentacles here, I think that there's this desire to move here. There's a desire to kind of plant yourself here. There's like a big calling for you guys. It's like we feel rooted to this place. We totally feel rooted to it, and it does have all 4 seasons. It kind of has all different offerings for us. You know, it feels like we get a little bit of everything. We get a little bit of the water, we get a little bit of the wind and rain, we get a little bit of the warmth with the wands, we get a little bit of the pentacles, which is that solidity. It's also the winter as well. So we get a little bit of everything, right? Getting that vibes for you guys. So let's pull on some more cards over here. I also think that you guys are going to own a pretty significant home. This Ace of Pentacles, there's this potential that you guys are going to own a pretty significant home. Like it's going to be pretty nice for that area, okay? So our next 3 cards that we have the first quarter moon. So making decisions, obstacles, taking action, and momentum. So making decisions, obstacles, taking action, and momentum, first quarter moon. So I think that you're going to live somewhere where you haven't really lived before. So yeah, I'm getting like, maybe you used to vacation or visit here before, but we haven't exactly lived here before. This is our first quarter. So I think when you guys move here, it's kind of like this idea of like, oh, this is the first time I'm living here and I can't believe I moved over here. This is so cool. But yeah, I'm getting a vibe that we used to visit here when we were a kid. And then we have last quarter, so transition, letting go, forgiveness, adaptation. We're adapting to a new place, you guys. We're letting go of the old. We're moving somewhere totally brand new. And it's going to be like black and white from where we grew up. I think this is a very different, it gives you such a totally different vibe from where you grew up. Then we do also have Neptune, which is the ruler. Like Neptune is this water god, right? Like the god of the oceans. And we have inspiration, dreams, spirituality, and delusion. So this is somewhere where it's like, we've dreamt about this place. We've dreamt about living here. But I do also think it's going to be near a body of water. So this could be a big lake. And you know, usually where people vacation to, they vacation in places with oceans or lakes, right? And so I feel like for you guys, since Neptune's even coming up, which is like the water god, I think that you're going to live near a body of water, which could be the ocean or a significant lake of some kind, but it's somewhere that people like to come to. And it's somewhere that you've dreamt about for a long time. Like I think you used to have fantasies about living in this place because it maybe has brought you a lot of good memories from the past. I'm going to put this card down here like that. There we go. And then I'm going to shuffle this deck right here. We're going to get some more information using this deck. We're going to try to get about like 4 different cards from this one. So let's see what comes up. Pile number 5. All right. We get three different cards coming up here. We're going to try to get one more in a second. But we have Milky Way, Perspective, Rain, and Dance. Ooh. So Milky Way, I really think that you're going to be able to see the stars from where you are. I think that's going to be pretty significant. I think you're going to be able to even possibly see the Milky Way from where you are. So I don't think it's like deep in a big city, because I think that this place is going to have really clean air. Really clean air. And that's probably why you're gonna be able to see the stars, because there's not a lot of pollution. Because you go to like a big city somewhere and you really cannot see the stars, like almost barely, other than maybe like Jupiter, because it's like really bright. But like other than that, no stars are really apparent, right? But for you guys, I really think you're gonna be able to see the stars because there's really clean air where you are. And there's a lot of nature around you too. I see like plants. I see that like wherever you are, I think it's going to be like a place where the community really takes care of the landscape. And so it's going to be like a really pretty landscape even when you're driving through like community areas. Then we also have Rain of Purification. Ooh. Yeah, again, we have some clean air. It's a clean place. I don't think there's a lot of rubbish down there because it's a really pure place. There's a lot of like, people really take care of it. People don't like to litter in this area. Like, it's really nice, okay? It's really nice. And yeah, we do get some weather here. We get weather going on. Then we have Dance, Celebration. Ooh, so yeah, people come to vacation here. This is totally giving me like, it's a vacation town that in the summer, people come to vacation there. Okay, we're gonna try to get one more card from this pile. We have Ceremony, Invocation. So this is also making me feel like, yeah, people come here. People probably like to get married here in this place that you're gonna live. People probably love to do big celebrations or like, yeah, ceremony is just making me think like people love to have their weddings here in the summer. Maybe even in the winter as well. It's like a beautiful place. I think people really love to get married in that area. All right, then I'm gonna shuffle this deck right here. We're gonna get a couple last few cards from this one. And then we'll do some Astro Dice. We have the Elephant, grounding. Ground your energies and emotions deep into the earth. I feel like you totally feel grounded here. You feel like you're in your element. You feel like this is a place where like you totally belong. You feel Gucci over here. And I think you're gonna live there for a long time. Elephant is making me have this vibe of like, you're gonna really live here for a long time. It's gonna be the place where you really plant your roots. Ooh, and then we have Hedgehog. So this is acceptance, embrace who you are. Ooh, oh, that's so cute. So this is like, we're finally feeling like our environment matches who we are. So that's what I'm getting from this card, is like our environment matches who we are. We feel like we're in our element. Embrace who you are. We're embraced by our surroundings. Okay, so I'm gonna roll these Astro Dice. We're gonna get any last information on this reading for you guys. Neptune, we have Neptune and Neptune coming up. How fun. And we have the 9th house. So I think that this is going to be different. And Sagittarius, that is so interesting. We have Neptune, and then like basically Sag and Sag energy. So people totally like to vacation here. This is totally a vacation spot. It's a travel destination for a lot of people. Neptune and Neptune is definitely making me feel like this is a dream place. Like people, I think, you know, when you're walking on the street here and then there's a bunch of vacationers around, I think that there's going to be people that, you know, that you meet that are like, oh my gosh, you live here? This is somewhere where you live? And you're going to be like, yeah, it's totally normal. This is where I live. This is totally, yep. People are going to be like, oh, what a dream. Oh my gosh. And people like dream about living here. So it's totally like a dreamland where people love to vacation to, but I don't think a lot of people actually fully live there, but you're going to live there. People are going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you live there. So yeah, I think that there's a lot of freedom over here. I think that there's a lot of like just fun energy. And again, it's very dreamlike and it's near some water. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys. Pile number 5. Hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. All right, so my last pile number 6. If you guys chose this one, this is going to be your reading all about where you're going to live in the future. So let's hop right into it. All right, pile number 6. We have the 8 of Wands, we have the 3 of Swords, we have the King of Swords, and we have the 4 of Swords. Okay, so swords always remind me of somewhere that's a bit colder because it's a kind of a coldish sort of energy. But I do feel like you guys are going to vacation a bit. You also might move here by choice. I know I'm saying that by choice. A lot of people love like colder areas. I know for myself, I'm kind of like, take it or leave it. But for you guys, I think you're gonna really actually enjoy it. But yeah, this King of Swords, 3 of Swords, 4 of Swords, I think that this is an area where people like to stay indoors a little bit more often because it's a place that's a little bit colder, but I think that you get like invigorated being in this area. I think you're gonna really enjoy being in this area, and there's a lot of movement as well. I do think that you guys might take vacations quite often when I'm seeing that. People also might people might come in and out of this place. I think that there's visitors, but yeah, I mean, there's always visitors in any place, but like this 8 of Wands is making me feel like, I don't know why camping came to my head. I don't know why that came to my head, but I guess that's a message for some of you guys. Might not be for all of you guys, but yeah, I'm definitely getting that there's like a winter wonderland sort of vibe. Winter Wonderland vibe is what I'm totally getting from here. Then we also have the Vertex, which is the karmic point, synastry, fated connections, and turning point. So yeah, when Vertex ever like in astrology touches like a certain natal planet or whatever, usually there's like big, like that's a significant turning point. It's like a significant change. And so yeah, that's interesting. We'll come back to that in a second. Then we also have the 12th house of I Surrender. And then we have the Gemini coming up. Very interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting sort of cold vibes again when we look at the 12th house. 12th house is ruled by Pisces, which is ruled by Neptune. And this is kind of like it's a fantasy wonderland, but it's a colder fantasy wonderland. And Vertex, I think that this area maybe changes a lot. So karmic point, fated connections, turning point. So yeah, this could be like we are somewhere that like maybe the weather changes so quickly. Like during the day, like in the morning, all of a sudden it's snowing, and then like halfway through the day we have bright, sunny sun, shining sun, and it changes really quickly. And we have Gemini, which is also, it's a flip-flop. It's the dualistic. Like we have a little bit of everything every single day, and it's a kind of day that's like, oh, we're gonna start out snowing and blizzarding, and then all of a sudden it's gonna be like bright and warm, and maybe we can go jump into the lake that's near us or something like that. Like, you know, that sort of like juxtaposition of the weather where it can't really decide what it's doing. I'm kind of getting a little bit of that vibe. And this is kind of a dreamy place. The 12th house is this sort of like dreamy place, but we're not really near a whole lot. And maybe there's like, yeah, it's kind of this fantasy dreamland. And yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Fantasy dreamland. That's the way I can describe it best. So let's add on some more cards using these ones right here to get any more information on this pile. I'm also going to turn down the brightness of my camera. We are getting bright. Okay, there we go. So let's try to get about 4 different cards from this one. Let's get some more information upon what's happening over here. Okay, we have ancestors. So this could be a place that you grew up at. It could be near a body of water. We do have lake coming up as well. We have forest of breath, so I think the air is going to be very clean here. We could be surrounded by a lot of nature as well. And then we also have DNA karma. I feel like I want to pull out one more of these for some reason. Let's get one more. There we go. Lightning. So yeah, we got some weather in this place, you guys. Our weather cannot make up its mind. Okay. So there's a lot of power in the weather where you live. I think that, again, like I was saying with that vertex as well, I was kind of getting that vibe, like it can change drastically from one moment to the next. And I think that your weather is going to be quite powerful, but it's going to be near like a lot of like nature, things like that. I think that there's a very natural element to where you live. I do think it's going to be by some sort of body of water. I think that people are a little bit more, like, there's not too much happening where we're living. It's not like, you know, living in a downtown area where there's lights flashing, there's this, there's that. This stillness card is just making me feel like this is a place where we can relax. there's a whole relaxing sort of vibe, but the weather says something different. The action that we get where we're living is weather-oriented action rather than like, there's this event, there's that event, there's, you know, the thing that brings us the change is the weather. Ancestors, I think that you guys have been probably attached to this land for quite some time, this area. You guys might have grown up here or even had past lives in this area, and maybe that's why you're so attracted to it. And then we have some karma to work out here, and we have DNA. I think that we're naturally from here. Like whatever culture that we're from, we're naturally from this place. When I'm looking at this DNA card, like our DNA sits in the land, right? So this is kind of like telling me that whatever culture that you are, I think you're staying in that same sort of like culture sort of vibe. But we might be traveling as well when we have this 8 of Wands. I do think that there's going to be travel involved for you. I don't think we're constantly staying super stagnant or anything like that. I think that there's going to be travel. Okay, so moving on to this deck right here, we're going to try to get 2 cards from this deck to get some more information for you guys. All right, we get 2 right away. Perfect. So we have rabbit, sensitive soul, strengthen your boundaries and cut cords. And then we have sea turtle, conservation, making conscious choices. So you're going to be somewhere where people really care about the nature. They really care about being conscious and taking care of the things that are surrounding them. And I think that it's going to be somewhere that has quite a bit of wildlife as well. And then we have that rabbit. So yeah, again, we're surrounded by a lot of this animal, a lot of animals, right? So sensitive soul, strengthen your boundaries and cut cords. So this is an area where, you know, I think that people are very connected to the nature. People are very in their own element as well. Like we're not like in, I don't know, like a big city where everyone's like, hi, da da da, this event, that event, blah, 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 blah. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think that you guys are in an opposite sort of area where it seems like people are a little bit more quiet. They keep to themselves, you know? That's kind of what I'm getting from that. So let's roll these astro dice. Let's get any last information on this pile. For you guys, pile number 6, let's see what comes up here. We have Mercury. We have Cancer, and we have the 12th house. We have the 12th house down here too. So this is definitely a fantasy kind of dreamlike place. You know, people, it's a little bit more of maybe even a sleepy town when we have 12th house. So this could be like a total sleepy town, but it's very comfortable. It gives very comforting vibes with Cancer. But the weather, it changes with Mercury. Oh my gosh. Yep. The weather definitely is totally changeable at any time, but it's a very comforting place. You know, it's a place where it's like, sure, it's raining, but then we can sit with our nice cup of tea, with our soup and feel good. You know, it's like one of those places where people, they love to feel that comfort. But you know, there's not a lot going on. There's not a lot of events. There's not a lot of like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. It's like a total like opposite, like calm. I sip my tea, I go on my walks, I feel really good, I make some soup in the evening, I make some hot cocoa. Like, it is one of those types of places. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys, pile number 6. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!